Yo, you know what I love about the Bible? It's that there is no unique experience. If you're going through something, 9 times out of 10, there's at least one character in the Bible that went through a similar experience. So if you feel like you're a simp, just know that there was a simp long before you came. I'm talking thousands of years, and that was Samson. Samson has to be one of the biggest simps in the Bible. The difference between him and Solomon, right? Solomon had volume, right? That's all Solomon had. But in terms of like quality of simping, I think Samson takes the crown there. I don't even think King Solomon was a simp at all, like not even a little bit. So the reason why I'm saying like Samson was a simp was because he first dated the Timite girl before he moved on to Delilah, right? And she was trying to manipulate him into giving her the secret to his strength, right? And he told her the truth. He told her it comes from his hair. And he learned his lesson because she went and told the Philistines. But luckily, he paid his debt by killing 30 of them. So I don't think the others found out what the secret to strength actually is. So you would think this is lesson learned, right? But nope. When he moved on to Delilah, she manipulated him like 4 times, and on the fourth time, she was successful, right? The first few times, what she did was she asked him what the strength to his secret to his strength is, and then Samson lied to her, right? And told her that if to take away his strength, you would have to bind his hair in bowstrings. So the next morning he wakes up and his hair was bound in bowstrings. So he just assumes it's a coincidence, right? And for what reason, I don't know, but I guess he assumed it was a coincidence. So again, she asks the second time, and then he lies to her again and says, if you bind his hair in new ropes, you will take away his strength. So next morning he wakes up and then his hair was bound in new ropes. So again, he assumes it's a coincidence. And then the third time he lies to her again. And then he says, if you tie his hair into a loom, you'll take away his strength. So he wakes up next morning, his hair is tied into a loom. So now you would think he's learned his lesson, right? They say third time's a charm, right? But clearly not. So then he tells her again, this time he tells her the truth that the strength lies in his hair. So he wakes up the next morning, his hair's cut, then he gets captured by the Philistines because his strength's gone away. So you would think he would learn his lesson the first time it happened because that clearly wasn't a coincidence, but clearly it didn't, right? And how many of us act like Samson did? You know, maybe not as bad. I think there are very few people that would make the same mistake 4 times. I think the Bible just placed that story there so that we don't fall into the same pattern. That obviously that's an extreme example, but in a certain way, I feel like a lot of us can relate to Samson, that we idolize relationships so much that we're willing to compromise on logic, compromise on morals, also we can find ourselves in one. And at the end of the day, it just comes to bite us in the back. We get betrayed, we get disappointed, and there's some experiences I've went through where it's led me to not trust anyone. And I think that's a good thing. It may seem like it's a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing because when you trust someone and they don't live up to whatever standard you set for them, mind you, that can be a good standard or a bad one, an unrealistic one. But regardless, if they don't live up to that standard, you're going to get disappointed. So why put yourself in a position where you can be disappointed? Why not just hope for the best and expect the worst? That way you'll love people unconditionally, kind of like the love that Jesus has for us. Now, of course, we are expected to keep his commandments if we do love him, but a lot of us, for a huge portion of our life, we didn't do that, and God still forgave us and he loves us. I don't trust anyone, and I don't even trust the person who I'm going to end up with when I marry them. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. You guys let me know in the comments, but I'm just going to love people, man, from here on out, because I'm just tired of being disappointed. Oh, man, am I trauma venting right now? That wasn't even my intention, but my main point was that we should not idolize something that's so prone to making a mistake, that being humans. So if you're in a relationship, just love that person. Sure, they should be loyal to you. They should do X, Y, and Z. They should be a God-fearing woman. But if they don't do that, yes, you should probably not stay with them unless you're married, maybe. But you should still love them. Yeah, I hope you guys are getting my point when I say this stuff. It's that if you love someone unconditionally, you can almost never get too disappointed. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.